Saw her again this past year, and we had a wonderful conversation. I also attended her kirtan, and it was just really, really wonderful. You can go to lovingawareness.org for Deborah's website. Again, she's a high vibe life guide, source, infinite channel, kirtan chant artist, which we played. We played music from her chants too, and when she was on last, Flower Essence and Plant Energy Lightworker. And here I am. We're going to be talking about loving awareness, kirtan, and connection with our source, infinite nature. So let's welcome Deborah Gehrke to our show. Deborah, do I pronounce your last name right?
Yes, it's very, very close, Gary. Gehrke. Deborah Gehrke.
Gehrke. Is that right?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be back.
I'm excited that you're back, too. We had a conversation, Deborah and I. When did we talked on the phone after the last time you were on the air, right? I think.
Yep, for just a little bit we did, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we spoke about how to channel the higher energy and for her and for you to do it and for me to do it and have a conversation like our higher selves. We have our personality selves, and of course, the personality selves, if you're very attuned, can be very, very close to your higher energy. But it is not for me. It is not my higher energy speaking entirely. I'm a facilitator in which I present the higher energy to work through me. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense, Gary. Absolutely. I think that. Go ahead.
My personality self reflects it, but it isn't. It is not it.
Right, and I think what happens, Gary, is as we practice ourselves into allowing more and more consciously, and as we invite our higher self to be more and more attuned and actively present in our every moment, in our every breath, then that merging becomes quite seamless. And there are times, the times become more prevalent when the higher self is very much engaged in speaking through us at all times.
Yes, and I like to be the channel through which higher energy expresses itself, because I feel my heart opening. For instance,
right.
Often when I chant, I go through doing some kirtan.
Yes.
I'm definitely brought to that place. Where
chanting is.
Yeah.
I think that mantra chanting, is one of the most powerful, most beautiful ways that we can bring ourselves alive in that merging of ourselves with our higher selves. And in turn, then, when we are tuned in with our higher selves, what does that mean? That means that the source of infinite nature, the source of all that is vibrating through us consciously. So it always is, right? Our cells, every fiber of our being, we're always alive with the essence of source. Source, infinite nature, vibrates through us continually, all the time. But when we chant mantras, when we use chant music, when we come into that devotional, sacred singing space, that's one of those ways that it consciously brings our awareness to that river of infinite flow that's always alive and well within us. And then when that merging happens, then we find ourselves in that state of grace where our awareness is heightened and source is just pulsing through us in, like I said, every breath, every word, every action. And when we experience that, as I know you have too, Gary, that experience becomes so treasured and so cherished, and we invite and we get excited about allowing those experiences to come into our reality more and more and more. So chanting is one beautiful way to do that, and another way I think is super beautiful that has worked exceptionally well for me over the years is coming into relationship with our breath, really recognizing the nature of our breath and what our breath is really intended to be for us. There's a mantra in the tradition that we often chant in, and this mantra is Pavan Guru, Pavan Guru, Pavan Guru. And this is breath is the teacher. Breath is the teacher. And so when we become aware of the breath in our bodies breathing us alive, we come into union with that which connects us to our infinite nature. Our breath is what reminds us that we are infinity in finite form. Isn't that beautiful?
It really is, and I agree with you. Breath to me is something that I do consciously every day, and you're encouraged to do it when you see the effects. One of the things of conscious breathing does for me is it surrenders, and I surrender all the within me that is not of peace, and
Yeah.
it's just sort of like wow, it's so with us. This tool is available right now for all of us.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I've learned
and it's one of.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's just one of the most beautiful ways, I think, to tune in very, very deeply and very quickly. So many of us, of course, we all breathe, right? All of us that are in this conversation together while you and I are talking, Gary, and others are listening, every one of us is breathing. Every sentient being on this planet is alive with breath. And the breath is interesting, isn't it? Because it's mostly involuntary. So we don't have to be conscious of whether or not we're receiving a breath into the body or whether or not we're releasing and exhaling our breath. We don't have to do that consciously. Our body involuntarily takes care of that and thus keeps us alive and present in our being-body experience. But when we really think about the breath, if we think about, well, what would happen if I would just cease to breathe? Well, we know what would happen, right? We would leave the physical nature of our beingness. We would emerge again into pure positive energy, and that would also be quite lovely, wouldn't it? But to be here, to be present in this physical experience, and to choose consciously, to remember that we did choose consciously to be here, to be present, to have this physical experience, and then to become consciously aware of the breath that is breathing us alive, so that we can expand infinity and we can have this amazing, life-giving experience. It's so, so powerful, and it's so simple. We can just choose. It's like flipping on a light switch. We can just choose in a moment. I am now choosing to be conscious of my breath. And as we allow ourselves to become conscious of our breath, suddenly, like you said, Gary, the mind becomes quiet. There's a surrendering, there's a releasing, there's a letting go, and there's a becoming of presence. There's a becoming more and more awake and aware in the very present moment. And it's as if each moment then expands. And it's as if the entire cosmos is expanding with our in-breath and contracting in embrace with every out-breath. And so just by becoming aware of the breath, we're doing it now. We're hearing these words and we're feeling and hearing the breath in our own body, breathing us alive. And as we enter into this experience and we allow the state of grace that consciousness and breath brings to us, we expand in our intuitive nature. And we merge and realize the fullness of oneness that was there all the while. And that's all it takes is just these few small moments, just as we're doing now,
right,
to drop into the breath and to allow that state of grace. And from there, we're completely limitless.
Yes.
We're free. Very good.
Yeah, very good. So why don't we do a breathing together here?
Sure.
What would you suggest as what breath? What kind of will you lead us through this, Deborah?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
So let's just now settle into our bodies, bringing our presence fully awake and aware in these being bodies. And as we bring our awareness tuned higher, we experience the breath flowing in and flowing out of the body seamlessly, continuously ebbing and flowing like a beautiful river, constantly in motion, constantly in change, constantly evolving, not holding back, just allowing. And as we allow the flow, let's deepen the breath, bring the breath deeper into the body. And as we exhale, allow the body to fully expand, releasing tension as we inhale, expanding the body, expanding the belly. And as we exhale, allowing the breath to fully leave the body and drawing our navel center toward the spine. And let's just keep the breath slow and relaxed like this for just a few more breaths. Inhaling very deeply as we allow our bodies to expand. And exhaling fully and completely as we draw our navel centers toward the spine. And one more time, inhaling very deeply. And exhaling completely. Very good. And the next time you inhale deeply, suspend the breath, hold the breath, and as you suspend, allow ease in the body. While you're holding and suspending the breath, allow ease, relax the shoulders. And now exhale. Very good. And now just continue to breathe naturally for just a few breaths. Very good. And now just bring your right thumb up to your nose and gently close the right nostril. And take a deep inhale through the left side of the nose. And exhale there through the left. And continue to take long, deep breaths through the left channel of the nose. Continuing to breathe on the left side. Deep breaths in and out. There's no effort, there's no force, there's just the allowance. And as we breathe here through the left channel of the nose, we allow ourselves to attune to the energy of the sacred, divine, feminine. Breathing through the left channel of the nose engages us beautifully with our intuitive nature. It increases our receptivity, cooling and calming, centering, breathing through the left channel of the nose. This is the energy of the moon. Continuing to breathe here through the left side. Tuning, allowing our vibrations to raise higher and higher. Very good. And the next time you inhale deeply, suspend the breath. And as you suspend, release your right hand. And when you are ready, exhale through both sides. Very good. And bring yourselves into just a relaxed, natural breath here. Very good. Very good. And now bring your left hand up and using your left thumb, gently close the left nostril. And begin breathing long, deep breaths through the right channel of the nose. choosing consciously here as we breathe to attune to the energies of the divine masculine. And that energy of responsiveness, that energy of divine will in action, consciously aligning in this energy, allowing for the heating, the activeness, breathing through this right channel energy. Coming fully online, feeling the vitality as you breathe, feeling your assuredness, your strength of will, your courage to be and to do in alignment with your highest consciousness. Very good. And the next time you inhale deeply, pause, suspend the breath, and release your left thumb. And when you are ready, exhale through both channels. And just breathe naturally, allowing the integration of the energy, becoming fully present, fully aware now, conscious of your breath, conscious of your vitality, the vibrancy of your being, fully present and attuned in these energies of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, merged beautifully in perfect harmony, balance. For one is not complete without the other. In harmony, in union, we are one. Very good.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, thank you. That was lovely.
It was lovely. That's a merging of the divine feminine and divine masculine through breath.
Yes.
So we can actually have the experience. It's not a concept, it's a reality.
Absolutely. And that's the important thing, isn't it, Gary? We can read and we can attend classes and we can watch videos and we can learn and subscribe to so many concepts and ideas. But the beauty that we experience is when we allow the experience to be fully embodied in this physical form that we reside within. That's the beauty.
That's the beauty.
We could talk about breathing all day, couldn't we? We could talk about it and we could talk about its benefits, but I'm so happy that you invited us to actually drop into an experience.
So
very good.
It's very good to have this experience. And like you said, we can talk about so many things, but this show today, I want to share with you, Deborah. Deborah Gehrke is our guest. And what's your website again is?
LovingAwareness.org.
LovingAwareness.org. You know, this show today, Deborah, I was mentioning to a couple guests earlier, there seems to be something that runs through the guests, like a certain kind of theme or energy or awareness. They seem to all link up. Now, I didn't consciously make this happen. I didn't try to plan it out or plot it out. It just fell into place.
That's beautiful, isn't it? And that is the nature of how things work when you didn't consciously, maybe you didn't try to make it happen, Gary, but, you know, cooperative components line up on purpose all the time. And you set out to have the show, and the universe is really orchestrating what flows through all of us while we're on a show with you.
I agree.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's amazing to be a part of, you know, to actually experience this. I'm hoping that the people that are listening also are having this experience, this theme, that this is thread that seems to run through the entire show, and it's not conscious. It's because of the level of surrender that I've done to allow the greatest possibility to occur. My intention is for the greatest possibility of spirituality to be represented, greatest possibility of healing that we can experience, allowing that to be,
Absolutely. What you described there, Gary, is very beautiful. I want to touch on a few things in there that I experienced as you were talking. So what you're really saying is you have put yourself in full surrender to the higher, most optimum outcome, yes. And as you put yourself in surrender, surrender is what? Sometimes we think surrender means waving a white flag and giving up, but surrender really is so much more powerful than that. Surrender is about allowing. Surrender is allowing the optimum outcome to be revealed. So when you say you didn't consciously plan the show, indeed, we would say you did consciously plan the show by surrendering and allowing. What you didn't do was control it. You didn't put parameters of control and constraint on, because you know through the reality of your experiences, you know that to try to control a situation or give it a particular outcome is to limit the pure potential of the entire cosmos. And why would we want to do that? So we allow the experience to unfold as it will, trusting fully that what we have called together will line up, and the cooperative nature of all that is will be present in the flow. I don't think you can have a radio show called In the Spirit and not have this sort of allowing, right? Isn't that beautiful? It really is quite profound.
Yeah.
You named your radio show In the Spirit. Therefore, because words are vibration, right? Words are vibration. And that means that words carry power. So by naming your radio show In the Spirit, well, you are surely destined. You are surely destined to be in the spirit of greatness, in the spirit of full consciousness, in the spirit of all that is, in the spirit of allowing, in the spirit of grace. I love it.
20 years this year.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. And a blessing for all of us who get to experience and walk the path with you by being on the show, for all of us who are able to listen to the show each and every week, and also such a blessing for you, Gary, because this is one of those things when we choose something like this, like I'm doing, this is Gary is doing a radio show called In the Spirit, and this show takes on a life of its own and continues to breathe and expand for 20 years. That means that there's great power and great purpose in that, and that the gifts are for every single being that is touched somehow by this show, including you. You receive these blessings of doing this show each and every week. And doing the show, I would only imagine, Gary, that it must help you to continue to walk in the Spirit each and every day.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say I'll be home, or I'll leave the station, go to my car, and there's a sort of like all is well in this feeling, just all is like, I feel like, wow, that was good. I get that was nice, It was like but it's not an ego thing, It feels more like it's like I'm not like congratulating myself or anything. I'm more like, wow, that was okay. Like I was a part of a wonderful experience I'm grateful for,
Exactly. That's because it's all about co-creation, isn't it?
It is.
You're creating a platform and holding space for all of this beauty to unfold. And that's why it certainly doesn't have anything to do with ego when you leave to go to your car. It has everything to do with basking in what just happened, what just unfolded.
Recognizing,
Yes, basking and recognizing, being an appreciation. Absolutely.
And it may happen, it may be in that state for a couple days, actually, after a show.
Right,
right. I'll talk to a friend later, and they want to talk about this and that. But one of the things that I want to bring into the conversation, I want to share about the show I did today. It's just like, because it's nice to be able to explore and give words to your experience.
Absolutely.
With a good friend, and so that's why I love to get feedback. I love to hear from people, letting me know what they thought about the show, and way you can do this on Facebook and email, and most people already, I do get some beautiful feedback, and I appreciate whenever someone listens, Deborah, and they tell me they loved it. It really makes my heart feel so good.
Yes, because you know that it's expanding far and wide, and further than just the immediateness of the space. And that's the really beautiful thing is that, well, I don't know, Gary, are the shows archived through the station so that people can go back and listen? So it's just if we record and then continue to show, then those can continue to live on. Yes?
You have to be with us as the show is broadcasting. However, I encourage people that are able to record if they wish to do so. Mm-hmm. And I know you found a way to do that, Deborah. And
yes, my beloved did. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary today, Gary. I have to give Mark a big shout out. We are 32 years in wedded bliss today.
32 years of wedded bliss, Mark and Deborah. Congratulations! I am so happy that this show is marking this occasion. This is incredible for me to know that. Wow, this is great.
I know, right?
It's beautiful. And another thing you may want to know is that we've had 3 guests today, and you will be the final. We'll be ending it with you. We'll be ending the day with the memory of this conversation with me. It's just so beautiful. You are definitely a recognizer of truth, and you live it. And you're aware. Your lovingawareness.org is a website that people can go to, and when they visit that website, Deborah, what are some of the things they'll find there?
Oh gosh, there are so many things that are under this amazing umbrella that we have of loving awareness. We live on a beautiful sanctuary in Waupaca, Wisconsin. It's this gem of nature. The land here is very, very sacred. So one of the things that you find when you go to the website is flower essences and gem elixirs, mineral elixirs that we create right here at the sanctuary. And just as Gary and I are talking about opening to our intuitions and allowing the merging of our higher selves to come through, that's exactly what happens here on the land. I've been working with nature spirits and Source Infinite and, talking with my higher self and higher spirit really for my whole life. I have memories from very early on all the way through my life. And I feel like being here at Loving Awareness Sanctuary right here, right now, the culmination of everything I've ever experienced in my life is taking birth and coming into form in an even more beautiful way than has ever been expressed. So literally, Gary, the flowers and the plants here are talking to me, and I receive messages from them for how they are so yearning and longing to be able to be our allies and to help us come into the fullness of our infinite nature, to allow our greatest gifts to come forward and unfold. And so through working with the flowers, we've created these amazing flower essences and plant essences. And then through the energy that is literally suspended in these flower essences, I'm sharing these. We're sharing these with the world. And people can come here, or I can meet with people just over the telephone or on FaceTime or on Skype or any other way that technology allows us to meet, whether it is here physically in local physical form or for those that are all around the world that I meet with. We can cross time and space with technology. And so I offer sessions with people, either working with them through the flower energies or just divining into the cosmic flow of all that is and having intuitive session work with people. I'm a life guide and a life coach. So all of these things are available on our website for people to delve into a little bit more deeply. There's experiences that people can come from far and wide to attend here at the sanctuary. but there's plenty of experiences that we can find each other just across time and space through the internet doing session work. That is, honestly, that's my greatest passion right now, is to really help, just as you and I have been talking today and talking about the breath and, enlivening our intuitive nature. That is my life's joy. It's my passion to ignite love light in other people, to help them recognize their own love light potential and, just allow Source to pour through to assist in that transformation. And, that's beautiful. So that was a really big answer for what you can find on the website. Basically, intuitive session and life guidance with me, flower essences that we are creating, along with other amazing herbal healing balms and salves and potions, all made with plants and flowers that are grown right here at the sanctuary to support our higher loving awareness.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have some time left. I'm wondering if we would like to do a little channeling, if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. Absolutely.
I'm
so,
not.
Gary.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, it's your.
No, you go ahead.
No, I don't know what I was going to say.
Okay. So here's what I would love to do, because I know this was something that was sort of an inspired idea that you had last time. So we'll enter into a channeling space and just allow Spirit to guide and flow the conversation through me. And as it's flowing through me, there may be little windows that would be open, Gary, if you're feeling a certain flow from your higher self that you would like to share and interject. I feel that Source is going to allow space for that. There's no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure. There's just the state of grace and the state of allowing. And so I just want to put that invitation out there, Gary. If a window opens and you feel inspired, please enter. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I'm just going to allow for the full merging here. Just taking a moment. Already I feel there's such aliveness. There's a huge celebration, like a party going on. Source loves it so much. And when we say Source, you see, is all that is. So it is not one-pointed, but multifaceted in its totality. And there is great celebration that there is this opening, this space for allowing Source nature to pour through, that there is a willingness to be receptive. I'm feeling now this appreciation from Source, from all that is, and the expanded feeling now going through every cell, every fiber of my being, of knowing this oneness, this complete, beautiful, indescribable feeling of connection, the seamlessness of it all, and knowing that and trusting that whatever flows through here and now, it is for the hearts of all. For the hearts of all. Dear ones, we are delighted that you are here with us, ever present. We are meeting you here and now in this infinite, ever-present moment. Alive and well, we are with you. Alive and well, we are here and now. Here and now with you, through you, in you, as you. Your hearts are so beautiful, dear ones. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the light radiating from within yourselves now? You see, you are born of pure light. You are born of pure potential. There are no limits. There are no limits to your boundless expression and expansion here and now in this realm of earth nature that you reside within and extending far beyond the confines of this earth, time, space reality. For you are infinite in your nature. You are infinite in your beingness. And dear ones, though you feel the weight of burden from time to time, you feel the weight of heaviness upon your shoulders from time to time, here and now in this earth realm experience, we would remind you to allow yourself to let go, allow yourself to release, and allow yourself to come into the ever-present realization of your source light. And that in the infinite nature of all that is, there is no such thing as darkness, you see. You experience darkness because you are now engaged in a reality of duality. So you perceive things as light and you perceive things as dark. But we are here to remind you that truly there is no distinction. Light is all-pervading. And that which you perceive to be shrouded somehow in darkness, we would invite you to look more closely, and as you look, gaze upon it with the light of your heart. For in the light of your heart, you shall see light in all. You see, it is a choice. It is a conscious choice. And we embrace you fully, dear ones. We do. We embrace you fully because we know that there are moments. We know that there are moments where the darkness feels as though it is all-pervading and it is closing in. And we just remind you that the light within you is stronger than any darkness that you shall ever perceive, and that all you need to do is come into the consciousness of your breath, because your breath is your ignition force, you see. You can ignite the light and radiate your field much brighter, much more. Breathe, and expand into the light. Allow the light of your being to become full in its power, full in its presence, and you will see that as this happens, the darkness you were perceiving shall evaporate. It fades into the periphery. You see, because you cannot be touched by that which you perceive as darkness, because in the truth of all that is reality, it does not exist. And we know that there are moments where this is hard for you to conceptualize. This is hard for you to grasp. And we encourage you in those moments more than any other moment to come into your breath, to breathe yourselves home, to breathe yourselves home into the light of your pure and true awareness. There is great power in your breath. There is great power in your light. Your light cannot be dimmed. You are the living example of your pure light potential. What will you allow knowing this? What will you allow in the purest of your whole light potential? What will you allow? What will you allow? For you see, the allowing is always of your choosing. It is always of your conscious choosing. And the beauty there is that every breath is a new birth. Every breath is a new moment for you to fully awaken, to fully become aware, and to fully allow the infinite nature of who and what you really are to shine forth. Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be. This is not a time to shrink. This is not a time to disappear into what you perceive as the shadow. This is a time to stand up. This is a time to rise. This is a time, beloved, to embrace yourself Embrace it all. Deny nothing. Embrace it all in light. For of light you are. Of light you are. Be light. Allow light. Consciously. Choose light. It is a choice, dear one. It is your choice to make. We stand ever inviting your recognition, your realization, your allowing. You're coming forward into the fullness of your light. This invitation is ever open, infinitely so. And by the grace of light, you are. Shine. Shine forth. Shine forth, dear one. Very good.
Divine, illuminating intelligence, the all-pervading light. Divine, illuminating intelligence, the all-pervading light. Divine, illuminating intelligence. The all-pervading light.
Repeat, please. I know who I am.
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 Light, I am.
Light, I am.
Love, I am.
Love, I am.
Truth, I am.
Truth, I am.
Peace, I am.
Peace, I am.
I know who 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 I am.
My light, I am.
My life, I am.
My love, I am.
My love, I am.
My truth, I am.
My truth, I am.
My peace, I am.
My peace, I am.
I know who 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 I am.
I love who I am.
I love who I am.
I celebrate who I am.
I celebrate who I am.
I embrace who I am.
I embrace who I am.
I know 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 who I am.
My light, I am.
My life, I am.
My love, I am.
My love, I am.
My truth, I am.
My truth, I am.
My peace, I am.
My peace, I am.
All all that we are.
All that we are.
One.
One.
One life.
One life.
One love.
One love.
One truth.
One truth.
One peace.
One peace.
In light we are.
In light we are.
In love we are.
In love we are.
In truth we are.
In truth we are.
In peace we are.
In peace we are.
One. We are one.
One. We are one.
Very good. And inhale very deeply. And suspend the breath for just a moment. And exhale powerfully. And inhale very deeply. Suspend the breath. Exhale powerfully. And once more, inhale very deeply. And suspend the breath, and as you suspend, gaze to the third eye, that space between the brows. Send the energy higher. And exhale fully, completely. And breathe. Breathe naturally. Allow yourself to integrate. Allow the power of this healing vibration of the word sounds that we repeated together to be made fully real, actualized and realized in the cells of your being. And receive now these sounds, these frequencies. Yenai kama noriai, kemaniai hoi, kemaniai akei, hey, Honai keima kamai, Kemaniai, kemaniai, kahi, Kenai kamani kai kie kie kei Kikai. Yeah, Kiamana Kai Kipa Kai. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling powerfully. Inhale deep now from your very toes all the way up. Inhaling through the crown of your head. And exhaling now, drawing the energy down through the crown, exhaling all the way down through the body. Very good. Inhale deeply, stretch your arms up overhead. Suspend the breath and shake, shake, shake your hands above the head. And now turn your palms facing away from the body and exhale as you sweep your arms through your auric field. Very good. And breathe naturally. Allowing yourselves to be present. In this now waking moment. Integrating and assimilating. Receiving healing vibrations through every cell. And giving gratitude for this experience that we have shared together today. Om Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And so it is.
And so it is.
Aho.
Aho. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for holding space and
Definitely.
providing this platform for sharing. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to do it. I'm grateful, humbled, and open for this energy to take place now. And thank you for facilitating and teaching us in this, Deborah, and how we can experience it only really from it, direct experience that we know that we don't know, and that we can open to something more beyond us, but through us. We are part of this experience, but we're not. We are part of this experience that is taking place now. We are participant in this joy that we're sharing now. Our very acknowledgement of this is that spirit is working through us, and it's when we can open up to it and acknowledge spirit that we can recognize spirit in our breath. We can feel the energy and power of spirit working through us in the sounds. And we can understand that through this direct experience of spirit, through breath and sound and even silence, that we can experience. We know there's an inner knowing that takes place beyond the false I knowing that we sometimes cling to because of insecurity, because we're afraid of not knowing. In fact, it's okay. All knowing is done. All knowing is done for us. We don't have to do it. Knowing happens in the moment, in the divine moment, We recognize it. You know, Deborah, when I used to channel regularly, my divine self would say, everything you need to know, you will know when you need to know it.
Mm-hmm.
Always,
Absolutely.
Always remember that, because it rang so true at the time, and it's an eternal, and it's so true now, and it's a guide. It helps guide me, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's such profound truth in that. It's I have realized and experienced that time and time again. You know, it's like getting ready for the show with you today. I was just reading through past channelings and, you know, and I was thinking, oh, what will we talk about? Maybe I could read this. Maybe I'll read that.
Yeah.
But ultimately it was like, well, I'm just going to surrender and allow the flow. And then that whole thing of what wants to come forward, what wants to be in the flow, what do we need to experience today, what do we feel to hear today, you know, how do we feel to receive the energies, and then we just open to that flow, and it's like this mighty river just opens up. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I really feel that the spirit within me is very much alive, activated, and I really want to. It feels like it wants to say something. We have, just to let you know, we do have a little extra time, so we're not in a hurry.
Okay.
Yeah, even though we're approaching East Coast time, 3 o'clock. The spirit, what is it? What do you want to say? And when you are aware that there's only one, we're one. There's one and only one. There cannot be two. One includes all. One is enough. One, when looking through the eyes and heart of one, everything is included. One is love. Love. Heart, light, heart, love, consciousness, expansion, light, love, complete, nothing added nor subtracted. In this moment, we are alive, and that is eternity. Light, love, this moment, eternal moment, expressing itself through you, through me. Thank you. Okay. That's good.
That was beautiful, Gary. Very beautiful. That was, was so synergistic and so in harmony with, you know, the whole flow of what was talked about today. It was a beautiful, beautiful offering. Thank you.
Thank you. I felt like that higher self wanted to offer itself. You know, I haven't really done this in a while, but this is different. You know, when you're, I mean, allowing the higher energy. I think I've always allowed the higher energy to work through me for the most part, but to consciously, and you set it up with your healing work, when, you know, because then I was, you know, it sort of eliminated all the layers, you know, so that you could just have the felt experience, you know, and that light, that felt experience, shining the light of awareness on that, it brings it alive in the moment. It becomes alive, and that aliveness is I enjoy putting words to it, you know, because there's power in the words, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so when I'm conscious when I'm saying the words, and I'm aware as it's coming through, and there's a sort of a waiting for the word, what
Mm.
waiting, what is the word, what wants to be expressed. I don't know ahead of time. I don't even think about it. My mind is turned
Of
off.
course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is what I wanted to share today, this experience that you and I just shared, Deborah.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I love to do. It and I am so happy that you've been on the show with me today to have this, and for other people to experience it and give them the sense of, yes, this is for you. This is for all of us. This is available. This is not some secret. It's open.
Absolutely.
It's open.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely
Absolutely.
open and
Yes.
and available. And you
Yes.
don't.
And those.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No. Yeah. Good. Good. What are you saying?
Those that what you just described is really I would say the immensity of the messages that come through are to empower what you just described. So it's the fact that I have practiced myself. This is the only thing. I have just practiced myself into the state of allowing, where I can allow vibrational source to pour through in words that we understand as English, in sounds that we may not recognize but vibrate and resonate in the cells of our being. I've just practiced myself into a state where I can allow that. And what source brings through are teachings that help each one of us to also open to that experience, if it is something that we desire, if it is something that we want to be able to have as a part of our experience. We do weekly satsangs and loving awareness practice sessions here. And when people come and are physically present, the entire session is channeled just like, a portion of what we just experienced together. And I don't set a schedule. I don't set an outline of what it is that we're going to practice together. I fully allow Source to create the experience. And then just as you and I did, and those hopefully that are listening as we've been sharing, we can embody that experience. That's what Source wants. It's not about setting anyone apart, or someone can channel something and someone can't, or someone has a certain gift. The idea is that if we have these gifts, the reason that we're given these gifts is so that we share them, so that we serve through our gifts, and so that we can help to ignite the light and ignite the love that is already ever present in absolutely everyone. And so we share these gifts and we serve in this way, and we just allow these experiences to unfold. And then the only other thing we have to do, Gary, is completely surrender to any attachment to outcome. We just serve and we share for the joy of sharing, and know that every person is on their own journey and has their own pathway to experience, and that is all perfect, that we don't have to impose a particular timeline on anything or a particular pathway to take. Step here, now do 2 steps this way. We don't have to do that. We can just serve for the joy of serving and share what it is that flows through, and allow everyone to meet themselves on that journey wherever they are and ignite their light from there.
I think that's perfect. I'm so much into direct experience and knowledge coming out from not out of from within. Because we're already tapped in. We've just got to open it up. So thank you for sharing today. I hope that maybe we can continue this on a regular basis.
I would love to, Gary. Thank you again so much for inviting me on the show, and thank you so much for the way that you serve and share your light. It truly is a gift. We all need to be doing this together. It's not about any one of us, and that's right. The other word that kept coming as you were allowing your higher self to pour through. It's that word that is so, I feel, meaningful. That word of co-creation, everything that happened during the show today, I didn't do any of it.
Right.
You know, the part that I did was being a willing, cooperative component to allow what happened to come through. And by me saying yes to allowing myself to be that instrument and that conduit, then I can meet in the field of co-creation, and absolutely every being on the planet and every being throughout the entire cosmos, all of the energy to infinity beyond, and especially those of us, you and I, and those who are listening to the show, we're all very co-creative forces in what was created today. So I just feel filled with joy and gratitude, and I just want to say thank you all so much. Every single being and energy that had a piece in this beautiful co-creation today. Thank you.
And I join you in thanking everyone joining us today. And thank you again, Deborah. And lovingawareness.com, right, is your website?
Lovingawareness.org.
I'm sorry, lovingawareness.org. Deborah Gehrke, Gehrke.
Yes, that's correct.
And please stay on the line. I'll speak with you off here, okay?
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.